Hi, I'm Jeff Bellomo with Bellomo and Associates, and we are here today with Katie Mahoney with the York County Economic Alliance, and I am very excited to talk to her today about York County going to yellow and Governor Wolf's announcement that we will be going to yellow on May 22nd, which is actually tomorrow. So I'm very excited to talk to Katie to learn a little bit about her thoughts and the York County Economic Alliance's thoughts on going to yellow and what that means for York County. So, Katie, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and the York County Economic Alliance?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Jeff and the team for having me on today. So, as he said, I'm Katie Mahoney. I'm the Vice President of Marketing and Communications with the York County Economic Alliance. And I have a phenomenal team. We together manage all of the membership, all the and in non-crisis time, 165 special events that we do, all of our marketing and communications, and our downtown team as well. So the YCEA is the Economic Development Agency and the Chamber of Commerce and the Main Street for downtown. And we do those first two countywide. So anything from Dillsburg to Delta, Hanover to Wrightsville, anything economic development, any of the Chamber of Commerce features, and then we also work with all of our Chamber of Commerce throughout the county as well, and like Hanover and Spring Grove and such. So we are excited to be here with you, Jeff, and excited for the big announcement and turning to yellow tomorrow.
Yeah, wow, that's a lot. I don't know how you do all that.
Yeah. Right? We stay busy.
Absolutely, it sounds like it. So just generically speaking, just for the people who don't know a lot, when we say that your county goes to yellow tomorrow, what does that mean?
Sure. So the most positive thing about going to yellow is it is a progressive step in recovery. So while some things may not change a whole lot for the restaurant community who are still doing to go and curbside pickup, it is very significant for some of the other industries. Manufacturing, first and foremost. We have heard from Harley Davidson, they get to bring back their employees, they get to come back online.
Wow.
Harley Davidson, as you know, and most of York knows, is a very significant pillar of our economic community. So they, for first and foremost, Legacy Athletic in Hanover, which is another really large manufacturer,
Yes.
employing hundreds of people, they get to bring their employees back as well. So those are really, really significant. And then on a more immediate Main Street kind of a sense, retail is able to open back up, obviously following all of these safety precautions, all of the social distancing, taking a lot of new measures for safety.
Okay.
They now have the option to be welcoming patrons back into their store as well. And I think one of the largest things globally for everybody to be aware of is it does remove the stay-at-home order. So for everybody who was really and making a lot of sacrifices as well to stay at home, to resist the temptation to see family and friends, and really putting a lot of sacrifices out there, that will now be lifted. So still need to stay really vigilant with the 6 feet apart and all of that stuff, but that's probably one of the most significant changes.
Oh, that's huge. That's great. Okay. Does the York County Economic Alliance have any concerns about going to yellow generically, or?
Not really concerns. Obviously, public health, public safety is, I think, the number one concern in everybody's mind. So what we're really trying to do is help find sources for businesses that are welcoming employees back, are welcoming customers back. So whether that means they need sanitizers, they need masks, they need the plastic partitions in front of the point of sale systems. So our concern really is getting them the supplies that they need so that they can start to welcome employees and patrons back.
And are you able to assist business owners with that?
We are. We are.
Wow.
We have a lot of really great local sources, and then the state also has a variety of sources as well. And we did launch, when all of this started, a website called preparedyork.com. And on there, we have a whole page dedicated to reopening, and it has all the resources that a business owner could need for purchasing.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Okay. I'll have to check that one out. I didn't see that yet, so I'm very excited. What advice do you have to the business owner who may be afraid or who is still a little concerned about it and reopening and the liability that may go with it and those kind of things?
It's it is a really cautious situation.
Yeah.
And I think as a business owner, you have to really determine what's going to be best for you.
Okay.
One, what you're able to do to keep yourself safe, to keep your employees safe, to keep your patrons safe. And two, what's going to be the most economically successful thing
Yeah.
decision. We've seen several businesses kind of going back and forth of, do I open right now? Do I give it maybe a few more weeks? Or, and a lot have readapted their business model as well. So they
Yeah.
spent, the past 2 months building up their online presence, having an online point of sale system. And if it's going really, really well, they might not feel the need to open their physical location just yet. So I think it's really the biggest struggle is trying to determine what's going to make them most successful. And I think our role in that is really ensuring that if they do want to reopen, they have everything needed to be safe and support them if they are going to maybe kind of wait a few weeks. Going to Yellow on Friday is great, and some will open their doors and be robust and ready to go, and some others might be a little bit more cautious, and that's okay too. You really kind of have to trust your gut on what's going to be best for your business model.
Yeah, and I think that kind of goes, we were talking a little earlier before we started recording, and we have an estate planning and elder law practice, and a lot of our clients are, 70 plus and probably in the demographic that may be the most at risk. And we have had several deaths of clients through this process, and so we're struggling a little bit with that balance between wanting to open our doors tomorrow because we are people. I don't know if that's a phrase, but I just
Yeah.
made it. And we want to be around people, and that we feed off that energy. But I'm just nervous a little bit about, because of who we work with, who our clientele is. And I just think we need to be a little aware of that with all the deaths that we've had. And so I just want to be cautious. And so we're taking all those precautions. So I get exactly what you're saying, which is it's almost an individual business kind of choice or decision. And but it's tough. It is very tough. You mentioned a little bit ago about the masks and the partitions, and that there was a website. But for the sake of just making sure that we cover that a little bit, and I'm actually really interested myself again. So could you just touch base one more time on some of the basic stuff? And I know, and you could reference the website again, but I just thought it would be nice to kind of maybe touch base on that and what that website is one more time, if you don't mind.
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely. So the website is preparedyork.com. When you go there, it has a variety of resources, and there's a button right on the homepage that says Reopen York County. And that's where all of the things that we're talking about today are really identified. And it lists exactly what yellow means, which businesses are still closed, which businesses are permitted to reopen with restrictions, and which
Okay.
are what's kind of the green lit things, which are really the lift of the stay-at-home order, things like that.
Okay.
And so on that site, we have a couple different things. One are all of the resources for the personal protective equipment, the PPE, which are the masks, the sanitizers, ordering gloves in bulk. And then there's also a kind of a marketing resource kit, which the state requires, if you are reopening, a couple things that you have hanging in your business, saying that you understand all of the protocols, you are following all precautions, and those are state mandated things. So we wanted to get those available in both English and Spanish. And the whole site can be translated as well to whatever language you need. There's a handy little button there.
Wow.
And we also took the liberty of designing some more aesthetically pleasing things than what the state provides, that are just helpful reminders to people that say, you can hang it in the front of your business that says, you may not enter without a mask.
Okay.
6 feet away. Just some helpful reminders for people that are entering businesses in particular that are reopening. So we kind of outlined all of that there.
And what advice do you have? I mean, this is actually one of the fears that I have, is if a client comes in and refuses to wear a mask and, wants to hug me or shake my hand, or any advice that you have?
It's funny. We had a couple people reach out about seen any resources about how to best handle that. And we were actually pulling that together yesterday because
Oh,
it is really hard. And I think sometimes hard to even remember that so much has happened and that's not a safe protocol anymore. So really polite, keeping any kind of distance or barrier that you're able to. If a client comes in, stay standing behind your desk. That's usually kind of a good indicator.
okay.
And I do think when they see that you have either a mask on or you have a mask in your hand ready to put on, a lot of times it's just a good reminder that life has changed.
Yes.
Uh, and
Yeah.
and and unfortunately, and I'm sure it'll still hurt a couple people's feelings because we all have those people that say, "Oh, I don't care, just give me a hug anyway." To say, "Oh, that's okay, thanks so much. I'll just wave to you from over here." I think people understand, and it's always a little delicate, and sometimes it's hard too when they're, I'm sure you build long-term relationships.
Oh,
A lot of your clients, and it's hard to remind them that that's not okay for you.
yeah.
So keeping any kind of physical distance you can behind a counter, behind a desk, is kind of a nice indicator. But hopefully that mask is a nice reminder too of protecting, trying to
Both of us.
protect you in that
Yeah.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard for me. I'm a lot of referral sources actually, when they refer to me to their clients, they'll say, you would love Jeff. He's a big teddy bear. The first thing you do is going to give him a hug. And I'm like,
Oh,
oh man, like that's the reputation. I mean, that's who I am. I'm a hugger. So, oh, the
yeah.
only other thing I was curious about that is I think a basic question was, what's next after yellow? So we're going to yellow tomorrow on the 22nd. And then what happens after that as far as the lighting system?
It's a good question. It's a good question that I think we're all kind of waiting to see the answer.
Okay.
We've seen a lot of, we knew what the criteria would be to move to yellow,
Yes.
what the state was going to be weighing in on when to make that transition. I'm sure that they are having talks now about what it means for green.
Okay.
And we've even talked about internally wondering if maybe it's going to end up being a phased approach. Because it's, when people hear green, it's business as usual in their minds. And right now the state has kind of said, when it comes to green, you're still going to have to maintain the social distancing. You're going to still have to maintain the CDC recommendations at that time.
Okay.
Green could mean we're back to business, but restaurants are only 50%. Does that really mean green? We don't quite know.
Yeah.
So
I apologize. I actually thought that was already
No, it's okay.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's a great question to ask because it's the question on everyone's mind. And as soon as we get some more guidance on that, again, that Prepared York website, that's where we'll put it to say,
Okay.
here, no. And I think, honestly, I think the state's just trying to figure it out too.
Okay. I got you.
And we have been wondering, again, just kind of conjecture if it's going to be maybe a phased approach, yellow part 1, yellow part 2,
Oh wow.
like that. Because I think in green, for everybody's minds, we're back to business, we're open, everything's back to normal.
Right.
And we know that would take a really long time to get to that point. So
Okay.
so we're kind of waiting too, and we're curious, and we're following what the Commonwealth puts out, and we'll be sharing that information too as soon as we know, because it is top of mind for everyone. That's going to take.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any advice for professionals or other business owners on how we can help support each other through this and be there for each other?
Absolutely. I think now more than ever, we're seeing a lot of creative and innovative solutions to business support.
Yes.
Things like this that you're doing, finding new and innovative ways to connect to the community, to get information out there, to create new partnerships. I think that really goes a long way. We've seen a lot of, the surgence of webinars, of virtual events, of finding new ways to even just network with each other, because I think everybody misses that human interaction. So really finding ways to pull together and find creative solutions to establish some new partnerships.
Wonderful.
And I think we're seeing a lot too of the community come together versus pull apart.
Yeah.
And anything, you know, we'll try anything. So if it's a virtual happy hour, we've done that. Our downtown team has done some virtual First Fridays where you can log in, like live music that somebody's performing in their house. So I think just really thinking outside the box, being creative, taking some chances, reaching out to partners that you may not have before and saying, hey, I think we might have a similar audience. What can we do together to get this out there?
That's awesome.
I think that's really, we have seen a lot of that, and I think we'll continue to see more of that community come together.
That's incredible. Well, thank you so much, Katie. I really appreciate your time. Is there anything else that you'd like to share, or anything that you think the community should know, or?
I think we kind of covered the highlights. You know, definitely remain safe, be vigilant. You know, if you aren't feeling comfortable to go out in the community yet, please consider supporting the local businesses online. That's a huge resource right now. If you are feeling comfortable and able to leave your home, you know, shop local, dine local. That's been really our big thing. We've seen so many phenomenal restaurants and businesses find new ways to do curbside pickup, even in the retail atmosphere. So just encouraging any kind of investment you can put into our local economy right now is extremely valuable, because we know that especially the small business community are really feeling the crisis. So
thank you so much for your time, and thank you for what the York County Economic Alliance does for the community. We really appreciate all of it. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you very much.